So the Florida general election season pretty much just started. I made a video on this earlier. Andrew Gillum is running against Trump wannabe Ron DeSantis. Andrew Gillum's endorsed by Bernie Sanders. Ron is endorsed by Trump. It really is the front line of this progressives versus the right, the far right. It really is the front line. This is a huge race. We are the third most populated state in the country. And we now have a bold progressive trying to become governor of this state versus a proud far-right conservative endorsed by Donald Trump. So we'll see how this race goes. But I wanted to talk about today the fact that Ron DeSantis, oh my gosh, he started this general election season with a bang. It was August 29th, I believe. Was it yesterday? When the election happened? Oh yeah, August 29th, day after the primary. Ron DeSantis already made controversy in a very Trumpian style. He said that Florida should not monkey this up. When knowing his opponent is the first potential black governor of Florida, he said, on the first day of the general election, Florida, don't monkey this up. Now, there are some conservatives that will get mad at you for mentioning that, but let's stick to the facts. They'll complain about context. The context of this was he was pretty much saying that Florida's doing just perfect. Florida's doing great. Florida is wonderful. It's doing amazing. Low unemployment. All that. They like to brag about unemployment numbers when in reality it's kind of just following the national trend that's been the case since Obama. Of people getting low-wage jobs and getting 2 jobs to pay their bills. So they can brag about that. But they won't be talking about, they won't be resonating with the people if they're just saying that. Hillary Clinton didn't resonate with the people when she was like, oh, America's doing fine. America's doing great because we got Obama. I mean, we're doing great. We're doing great. That doesn't resonate. That doesn't resonate when that's not the reality for so much people. So Ron DeSantis can keep doing that. But what made this a problem, he said, Florida's doing so great, don't monkey this up. That's not a phrase. I understand misspeaking, but that's not a phrase. And it's not like it was a gotcha question. It was on Fox News. I've heard the argument that, oh, imagine if you had cameras and interviews around you 24 hours and they were asking you things and they were asking you questions like, oh, hey, John, when did you stop beating your wife? Are you still beating your wife? And you say yes or no, and it's still bad. But no, that's not what he was being asked. He was being asked softball questions on Fox News. And he still made that slip up. So if it was a slip up, he can apologize. But as far as I know, he's not apologizing. There's a lot of articles, and there's nothing of him apologizing. So in my view, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. It could have been possible this was purposely done to make controversy. Take a trick from the Trump handbook and just believing you're gonna be fine. But, you know, if this is the game Republicans want to play where they just go way below the belt, where they don't talk about issues, I think that's only gonna hurt them. They just talk about race. He wasn't necessarily talking about race in the previous comments, but then he brought monkey this up. So I think the monkey this up is a disaster for him because it makes him look bad. I think it makes him look racist. I think it is a racially charged comment. I've heard people disagree with me on that. You can agree to disagree. But I don't think you just say monkey this up, because that's not a phrase. You can say monkeying around, but no one says monkey this up. No one says that. A misspoken word. I misspeak all the time. You misspeak, you stutter, you say, can I have a Big Mac when you're talking about the Quarter Pounder? You know? Because they're just thinking about McDonald's burgers. Can I have that burger? But you're putting it the wrong one. That's a mistake. That's a misstep. That's a misspeaking. That's misspeaking. But making up a phrase relating to monkeys about the potential first black governor really is a pretty big slip up. And before I end this, I just want to talk about the type of person Ron DeSantis is, the type of candidate he is. You know, a lot of other candidates want to talk about their policies, especially progressives. Especially progressives. They want to talk about policy. They want to talk about what makes them so good. For example, Andrew Gillum. You search Andrew Gillum and the little headline under his website is, I'm running for governor to transform Florida in a state that works for all of us. Join us today. Want to know Ron DeSantis is? Ron DeSantis for governor. Ron DeSantis is fully endorsed by President Donald Trump. So he didn't seem sad enough in that horrible debate where the Republicans just kept kissing up to Trump. If that didn't seem sad enough, on his website, the little Google thing, the little like preview, all it says is Ron DeSantis is fully endorsed by Donald Trump. But listen, let me tell you what. I don't think the Trump strategy is going to work unless you're Donald Trump. It's going to make you look stupid. It's going to make you look like a fool. And Republicans for years and years and years to come are going to try to play by the Trump handbook. There's going to be a kind of Republican who are trying to seek power now, or who maybe are like my age and want to seek power in the future, political power, and they're going to try to play the Trump handbook. But that's not going to work because they're not Donald Trump. It doesn't work with other politicians. It's not a written thing. You got to be a certain person. And if you're just going to try to replicate Donald Trump and not be yourself, you're going to look like a fool. And that's what Ron DeSantis is going to look like throughout this entire campaign. He already made that horrible slip up. And he already looks like a fool. So, if you want Andrew Gillum to win, make sure you volunteer, make sure you donate, do what you can, phone bank, even if you're in another state, phone bank, and you can even donate if you're in another state, but you gotta work for Andrew Gillum to win, because he's not just gonna win. Because the Republicans, they got money, they got establishment power, they got gerrymandering, they got all this advantage. They all got all the advantages. They're not progressive, they don't have a progressive candidate, they'll have the money advantage. They'll have the money advantage. We just gotta fight. We're gonna have to pull an upset, just like we did in the primary. And then Andrew Gillum's going to shock the world twice by winning this primary and then by winning the governorship.